Give him something to look at.
That's funny.
Edutainment.
There you go.
That's all it is.
That's that comedian. I forgot buddy name. Talking about diabetes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. All right. Make sure I record this. Hey, Lenny, make sure you record it. I guess he heard me on my Skype.
Our boy DC on here.
Yeah, he hit me up. I gave him the every single one. He always hits me up.
Kirk
Like, yeah, man, I know that. I know that $97 was hurting you, man.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, I recognize a couple of these cats.
All right. What time is it? I'll give it 2 more minutes. All right, we got here 92. Getting there. All right, I'll go ahead and get started.
Yep.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? Greg Davis, superfillerrockstar.com. What's up? Talk to me. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now, Joel? Aha, good stuff. All right. Well, hey, welcome to this special all-content webinar on the Google Display Network. I appreciate you guys being here. And, just a little bit of background. I mean, you guys know that, I've got to talk about but you guys know that everybody's crazy over Facebook these days, and everybody's trying to get Facebook accounts and all that kind of stuff. And I'm one of them. Trust me, I've been there fighting the battles, buying accounts, getting ripped off, buying more accounts. Because a lot of money can be made on Facebook. But it's like everything in this industry comes in cycles. Like back in I've been around a long time, so I've seen like a couple of these already. Because I'm old, but like back a few years ago, everybody was on Google, and then Google they just like stomped down and they like fired a whole bunch of people, banned a whole bunch of people. It just got really, really rude and nasty, especially to affiliates and internet marketers and stuff like that. So that's when a lot of people kind of jumped on Facebook, and because at the time Facebook was friendlier to affiliates, to direct marketers, direct response. So on and so forth, internet marketers. But I would say the past like year and a half or so, like they have been, getting more and more not to like. And actually, it's kind of funny. Now they have the relevancy score and stuff like that. And I heard this, but basically the person that did the original Google slap, he works for Facebook now. And he's doing the exact same thing on Facebook that they did with Google as far as instead of quality scores, a relevancy score, but the whole thing, this big Facebook slap, is coming. We haven't seen nothing yet. All right, so, as great as Facebook is, it's tough to do business with them sometimes, and so, one finds themselves looking at some other alternatives, and just at the same time where Facebook has gotten more stringent and harder to deal with, Google has gotten easier. So, and I never gave up on Google. I've been, pretty much advertising on Google, either search or display or both. I mean, pretty steadily for the past like 8 years. So I never, gave up on anything like that. But I could just see how like the ebbs and flows of the marketplace and so anyway, so here we are. But Google Display Network used to be called Google Content Network. It used to be like this big mystery. Most people, lost money on it and stuff. I've always loved it. I've always actually, normally, it's actually been more profitable for me than the search network because, because of cheaper traffic, for one thing. And actually, in some ways, it can be, just as or, even more targeted, which we can kind of get into later. So, but anyway, I just want to kind of get into exactly what Google Display Network is. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so this is old school media buying. All right, this is like Arnold, Terminator, shotgun. You can pretty much shoot like, one person at a time. He can pretty much bag like one site at a time. Do one media buy at a time. So do some damage. But old school media buying was when you approach individual sites. And I used to do it. I used to do it a lot. Just email them, call them, whatever. Try to get an individual deal, for their site. Now you have no idea if it's if their traffic works for your offer or not. The only thing you can do is put your banners up, kind of see what happens. Okay, so it's pretty hit or miss. All right, and it's pretty time intensive. But that's how people did media buys back in the old days. I mean, like you could, email 50 different people, and call them or whatever, and then maybe do, I don't know, like say 5 or 10 deals. So you get 5 or 10 sites that you're on. Maybe, maybe 2 or 3 of them, actually really pay off. All right, so that's old school media buying. Now, new school media buying is like Arnold with the machine gun here. You can do a lot more damage because you use these things called ad networks. All right, so we have ad networks where they basically put all these different these different websites together that want to sell advertising, and so it makes it a whole lot easier for you. Instead of just making 5 or 6 individual buys, now you can just make one buy, but you can be on a bunch of different sites. All right, so that is new school media buying. Now this is GDN domination. All right, you got the quad barrel rocket launcher. All right, because you can do a whole lot of damage. Why? Well, because we're going to be dealing with the biggest ad network in the entire world. All right, and that is that is our Google Display Network. All right, biggest biggest ad network in the world, period, by far. All right, reaches 90% of the internet population of the earth. All right, so so it reaches a lot of people. It uses over 2 million sites. All right, so go back to the old school media buys. Even if you had a freaking call center of people calling day and night 24/7 around every site, you couldn't get close to the kind of reach that the Google Display Network gives. All right, so and this is the method that we use. We use GDN domination to not only have access to these sites, but to quickly and to to just dominate the whole market and to find out the sites that work for us. Find lots of them, and I'm gonna show you an example of this a little later. All right, so this is like like I do coaching, and I tell people, somebody gave me a nickname, Mr. 50K a day. I can't remember who it was, but it wasn't me. But people hear these big numbers that we do, like in CPA, 50,000 a day, 100,000 a day, and they just get so enamored, with those numbers. They're like, wow, if I could only make that much a day, if I could only do this. So that's all they see. All they see is just the money, the cars, that's all they see. So this is what they think is about. They think there's just, constant strip clubs making it rain, beautiful women hanging out with rappers. This is just what you do. You just start some campaigns, bada bing, bada boom. The wires start coming in. I mean, this is what you do, right? I mean, this is how you live. Well, this is what really happens. All right, you first start a campaign, you get your ass kicked. All right, you get beat up, you get destroyed. It is not pretty. All right, and so you have to kind of mentally prepare yourself for this, and this is what separates people, that are successful buying traffic and the ones that aren't. Okay, it's not necessarily the amount of money they have. It's kind of like the risk tolerance and how much they're willing to get beat up. So this is how it really is, folks. And I'm gonna show you the numbers to really bear this out. All right. So this is basically what we're gonna do tonight. I got my a good friend Sam Belt on the line as well. I'm gonna introduce him a little bit later because he's gonna come in and go into a lot more detail with exactly how to do this stuff. Basically, I just want to kind of give you like a 30,000 view of kind of like how we think when it comes to GDN, and then he's gonna get to actually show you some exact real examples and stuff like that of how to do it. So basically, what I want to do right now is just show you my approach. All right, and I believe Sam uses the same approach. So this is a little different than how Google Display Network is normally taught, all right? Because most of the time they teach you to, have a short keyword list, maybe 10 to 20 keywords per ad group, put those in there, and then, that's what you do. And I don't do that though, because I believe in putting the Googlebot to work, okay? Because the way that in layman's terms, in my terms, because I'm not technical at all, but basically you can look at the Google bot, or this is a Google spider, okay? So if you put your keywords in the list for your campaign, what it's going to do is going to scour the internet for pages that talk about those keywords, all right? So think about this. So if you have, where do you think the Google bot has the most leeway? Do you think it's with, like a keyword list? Or if you just have one keyword per ad group, then it has like a lot more room. Obviously, I'm going towards one keyword per ad group, okay? Because if you put one keyword in per ad group, then you're not constricting and confining the Googlebot to a certain number of keywords or whatever. It's free to roam and find different pages, and you'll find that it'll find like way more placements than you would than if you had a tighter keyword list or any keyword list at all. So here's how I approach it. So I use a keyword tool. You can use iSpionage, Keyword Spy, Word Tracker, whatever. I like iSpionage just because you can download huge keyword lists. But if you want to buy that, that will be the keyword. I mean the link to check it out. But I'll get a list. So let's just say, for example, we're doing a campaign on weight loss, some kind of diet product. Okay. So then I would make a list of the top. In my case, I would do the top 2,000 keywords that have to do with weight loss. When I say top, kind of like the top in terms of how much traffic they get. Now, honestly, like it really doesn't matter because for whatever reason, it seems like Googlebot kind of just snatches whatever terms that it wants to use and not necessarily what you think that it'll use. But nevertheless, you want to give it a lot of different keywords to work with because here's what's going to happen. We're going to set up these 2,000 ad groups, okay, with one keyword each, and not every ad group is going to get traffic. Matter of fact, like a lot of them will not get traffic, but a good number of them will. But we don't have any way of predicting ahead of time, which keywords are going to get traffic. So therefore, I just give them a lot, give it a lot to work with, and then I know I have plenty of ad groups that have some traffic. All right, so you make a list of keywords, and again, you use whatever tool you can use, the Google keyword tool, whatever. That's inside AdWords. So now here's what you're going to do now. There is actually a more elegant way of doing this with a software tool, but that software tool isn't quite ready for prime time yet, so I'm just going to talk about how to do it manually. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to make a little spreadsheet, and you're going to have a campaign column, and you're going to have an ad group column and a keyword column. Okay, the ad group column and keyword column are going to be the exact same. That's going to be your keyword list. All right, when you upload that into AdWords Editor, then you kind of have the skeleton of the campaign done, and then you can add in the ads, you can add in the everything else, the daily budget, mobile bid adjustment, demographics. All right, and the mobile bid adjustment is really big. We're gonna talk about that later, and also demographics obviously is big as well. So so then once you do that, you upload your ads. Now you can do either image ads or text ads. You can do like the standard Google text ad like they have in search, or you can do images, which are banners. I just prefer banners. I mean, it seems like they get more traffic. That could be wrong, but I think that they're more transferable. Like if I get a good banner that's doing well, on GDN, and more often than not, that same banner will do well, with other networks like, Site Scout or advertising.com or whatever, whatever other ad network. So, whereas with the text ads, you can't necessarily transfer them, as easily. I mean, some other have text ads, they have hybrid ads, you have images, it's different. Whereas the banner, you can just take the same exact banner. If you know this banner works for you, it works for your page, your page is optimized for that particular banner, then it's probably going to work as you transport it around the internet. Now, this part is extremely important. You have to use tracking. Whatever you prefer, whether it's CPV Lab, which is what I use, whether it's Tracking 202, whether it's Volume, whether it's Thrive, whatever, you got to track. All right. When I say track, I mean you need to track everything, because I do think it's important to use the Google Conversion Pixel. However, it's not perfect, and you always want to have a backup. Plus, sometimes there's a delay in the tracking pixel, so you might need to know some stuff like real time. So this is what I use. Like, this is what my link will look like that I give to Google. This is basically all it is passing one big variable. That's all it's doing. So any tracking could do this. And so basically, what I want to track, I want to look at the creative, which is going to be an ad ID that Google assigns to every ad. So I want to know which ad, I want to know which keyword, I want to know placement, and then I want to know what device. And the device is going to be either tablet, mobile, or computer, T, M, or C for there. All right. So you're going to track, but you're also definitely going to use the Google Conversion Pixel, because that's how you can kind of manage your account, like from a macro level, like really quickly and easily. Plus for the reporting, like you got to use that to get the reporting. Like I said before, if you have one ad per ad group, that should have been one keyword per ad group. I'll actually put more than one ad in the ad group. But but if you put that one keyword per ad group, like I said, it gives that Google bot a lot of room to work. So it'll just scour the internet, and if there's a page about, say if your keyword is, lose weight fast, any page talking about lose weight fast, it'll find it and it will put your ad there. All right. And you gotta keep in mind, I mean, like this is literally going through thousands and thousands of sites. I mean, like as you run your campaigns, I mean, you'll be able to see. I mean, like it might be 10,000 different placements in your ad group. All right. I mean, so it's going through a whole lot of sites. That's why I had like the rocket launcher. I mean, it's almost like freaking like missiles, because you're going through so many sites that you could never ever possibly, even on a traditional ad network, you can never go through that many sites to see if they work. All right. So and again, Sam's going to go through in detail exactly how to set this up. This is just kind of like a bird's eye view of it. So you got all that stuff up. Let it run. Okay. Now, while your ad is running, you're going to be optimizing. While your campaign is running, you're going to be optimizing the ads. Also going to be optimizing landing pages, and to a certain extent, I mean, if you're optimizing the offers as well. Okay, so you're trying to make everything get better, like all at once. All right, and your whole mission in life is to find placements that don't work and to exclude them. All right, you want to exclude the placements that don't work. All right, so this is like a recipe for disaster. Okay, as far as like not disaster, but it's not going to be pretty. All right, especially if you have a lot of keywords, like you're gonna lose money up front, and I'm gonna show you the good, bad, and ugly. Like most marketers just show you the good. Today I'm gonna show you some bad, some ugly, but I'm gonna show you how that becomes good. All right. So before so this is the part where look, I'm like I said, 50K a day, and all this big money. It comes with some sacrifice. It comes with some pain. And people just want to hear about the making it rain and stuff. They don't want to hear about the pain part. All right. So they're like, "What you talking about, Willis?" But this is the pain part. So before I get into the pain, let me take a pause for the cause and see if we have any questions here. Any questions before we continue? Will we get these slides? Yeah, I can see the slides. How many banners do you test when uploading with net trigger? Can't go and review. Not necessarily. I think if you already have some campaigns running, if it's like your very first campaign, yeah, it'll definitely put into review. If you already have something running, and then you use the AdWords editor, it doesn't seem to do it. Like if you start, like I'll start the campaign, in AdWords, and then I'll, download an AdWords editor, and then kind of build on it from there. Then typically it doesn't trigger review. Let's see here. All right. Okay. So a lot of these questions I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer right now through this demonstration. All right. Like I said, I'm just kind of go through this, on a high level, and then we're going to kind of circle back and see me get into some more detail. So, all right. So let me show you. Let me make sure I blot everything out here. Can't be out my campaigns, man. All right. So this is a real campaign. So this started back in February 16th. That was just about a month ago. So these are the first 2 days of this campaign, okay? So basically we spent $2,000 and we made $296. All right? So remember this? Oof. That's how that felt. That oof. That's how that goes right there, man. Told you it's gonna be ugly. All right, so that's the first 2 days. Next 2 days, a little better. We spent $1,500 and made almost $600. So, and keep in mind, like this cost per conversion, like our CPA is around like $37, I believe. So we're making $37. This cost us $98. So, so that's not good. But we're getting closer. You know why we're getting closer? Because A, we're getting rid of all the placements that don't work, and B, we're starting to get rid of ads that don't work, and C, our landing page is getting better because because we're testing landing pages, we're testing all this stuff together. All right. But this is how they start. Okay, people don't want to see this. People don't want to see this part. Let me go back. All right. I mean, I was actually working with the client. He was like, he was like, what the hell? I was like, don't worry about it. We got it. It's coming, and so we're gradually getting better. So now, next 3 days, still getting better. Our CPA is down to 71. We're still in the red. Spent $3,300 and made $1,700. But because here's my whole goal. All right, like when I'm doing a GDN campaign, my whole goal is to develop a list of placements that my thing converts on, that my page or offer, whatever, converts on. I want a list of converting placements. That's what I want. So all this time, I'm building that list. So I'm like collecting sites that are converting, and I'm getting rid of sites that don't. All right. And the Google bot is just going through thousands sites, putting my ad on thousands sites, and so bam, it's popping on some. I want a list of those, and the ones where it's losing money, I want to get rid of those. All right. So now, next 3 days, we are getting closer. And again, look, this stuff is not instantaneous. I mean, sometimes it takes sometimes it takes me like more than a month to get, a month or two to get something really dialed in as far as like, really starting to make money. These huge campaigns, these, 5 and 6 figure per day campaigns, like don't happen overnight. Okay. It takes a long time, takes a lot of money, being spent. In order to, this is what we call buying data. Okay, this is what you can buy data. But I'm actually going to show you exactly the data that I bought, and and then show exactly how you make money with it. So, but it's getting better. So we're getting closer. CPA is 37. We're 55. Bam. So we're just about breaking even now. This is like into week 3. All right, we're just about breaking even. So it's looking a lot better. So now we're just about breaking even. So it's spent 10.4, made 10.3, and And now we're finally in the red. All right, barely, but we're in the red a couple of dollars. Now we're celebrating a little. We're celebrating. We're celebrating. Yep. Yes. Yes. We're calling the bank. Yes. Making a profit. This online thing works. Yes. 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 All right. So now this is one day. This is March 4th. Now we finally in the red. Our cost per conversion is $26. And like I said, make it 37. So we spent 38 and made 52. And now we're off and running. Now we're balling now. All right, and we can just take that and hopefully hopefully you can take that and ramp from there. All right, does that make sense, everybody? So, all right. Okay, so now, so this is the whole thing from 16th through that 4th. Right? So basically, lost, still lost a little bit. I mean, lost like $2,000, but we basically got $37,000 worth of data. All right, and after once Sam goes to his part, then I'm going to show you exactly what to do with that data. So at this point in time, I'm actually not going to do the spreadsheet right now. At this point in time, I want to turn it over to my man Sam Bell. Sam, I've known Sam for a few years. We've had a chance to become pretty good friends, and he's a really smart guy. I mean, he's definitely, because Facebook, Google, he's one of my go-to guys, for all that stuff. And he's the only person that I like. People ask me, people that are managing accounts and stuff like that, and managing people's campaigns. He's the only person that I refer people to. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sam Bell.
Awesome. I appreciate the intro. And hey guys, super excited. Greg covered a lot of good information in terms of like the high level view, and basically I'm gonna come behind him and actually show you the implementation part. So what he described on going through everything, I'm actually going to walk through it. So you definitely want to pay close attention and take some notes. And I know you guys are going to have questions, and that's cool. I'm committed to staying on here as long as possible and answering every question. I want to make sure that you guys really get this, because you guys paid to be here. So you want to get this information and content, because it truly, truly can have an impact on basically your finances, period. So with that said, I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to go through a few slides, and then we're just going to go live. So just this, again, is all about how to dominate the Google Display Network. So just a little bit about me. I own a PPC agency called PPC Boutique, and basically we manage millions of dollars in campaigns across Facebook, Google. You pretty much name it, we do it. Certified in online testing protocols, certified in landing page optimization, and we manage seven-figure online marketing budgets. Also do education and training as well, and I'm really passionate about this stuff, So the stuff that we're going to cover, like I love what we're doing right now. Like this is fun for me, So just real quick, what we're going to cover: proper campaign setup and structure for profitable campaigns. Campaign research and analysis. I'm gonna go through that. Important campaign basics that matter, so just some of the basic stuff that you want to do when you're actually structuring your campaigns. We're going to talk about the new AdWords editor interface, the good, the bad, the ugly, like Greg mentioned earlier. I'm also going to discuss some layering techniques, so that way you can really laser target but still do it to the masses. Excuse me. And the secret URL you want to exclude from all your placement targets. This is actually a big one. Depending on the type of campaigns that you're running, whether they're mobile or desktop. And then someone actually hit me up specifically, saying, well, hey, what if I got banned? How can I get a new account set up? And towards the end of the training, I'll actually go into what you need to do. So if you've been banned before, you don't have an account, you want to get a new account, we'll walk through exactly how to do that. It's not that difficult. It's fairly straightforward. So let's just go ahead and go live. So I'm gonna bring this up here. I'm going to get out of this. And I'm actually just going to kind of walk you through, the process that I go through um, before we launch a campaign. So if you remember earlier, Greg mentioned, you want to do and build your keyword list, and I too use a tool called Espionage, and it's great because you can export, massive amounts of data. And I also use that in conjunction with another research tool called What Ones Where. There's also another one called AdBeat. But basically, depending on whatever niche you're in, you start with your main keyword, or if you already know some of the major players out there, you can actually search by the domain name as well. So I do a lot of stuff in the real estate investing space. Excuse me. So I'm going to start there. So I just put in, real estate investing, and then what I'll do is I'll pull up, who are some of the top advertisers in that space. So basically, right now, just based on advertising budget in the real estate education space, Rich Dad Coaching, they're spending about 53 grand a month. These guys spend about 24,000 a month. I'm gonna just take a look at these guys since everybody's familiar with Robert Kiyosaki and who he is. So then basically, I'm looking at, what keywords are they actively advertising on? What are their top PPC keywords? You can see they have over 7,226 keywords that they're actively bidding on. And basically, I want the top keywords. So I sort by volume, and I also look at, how relevant they are based on the KEI. So if you're not familiar with the KEI, the Keyword Effectiveness Index basically means, what's the commercial intent of this keyword. So the higher it is, the more commercial intent that exists for the person that's either consuming the content or searching that keyword is likely to actually purchase or take an action on something. So I generally look for KEIs at least 40 and up. So I'll just update that. So let's cut my list down some. And then I also want to look at search volume. I mean, I want there to be at least, 500, 500 or more searches per month for this. So I'll update this. All right, cool. So now I'm down to like 71 keywords. So from this, I would actually export the whole list. All right. So then I'll export that. So I'm going to do selected only. I'm going to do an Excel spreadsheet there. Test campaign. All right, so I'm going to save that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go look at some of the different banner ads, and I'm also going to look at some of the text ads too. So before I do that, I'm going to check over here and just see what ads that they're running that are performing really, really well for them. So that way I can get some idea of how I maybe want to structure my ads. Greg has a whole philosophy of swipe and deploy. So you can essentially do the same thing and maybe just make some minor tweaks. You actually don't want to use the words or the ads verbatim, but you definitely want to switch, definitely switch it up a little bit. So you can come look here, get some ideas of what's actually performing, what's working, how long they're actually been running, which is also a very good indicator as well. If these ads have been seen for, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, obviously more than likely they have a higher probability to be performing, So generally what I'll do is I'll copy this to a text file, save the ones that are performing the best. So I'm going to save a spreadsheet here. So now I have some different text ads I can modify if I want to launch a display text campaign, as well as just to get some ideas for how I want to craft my potential banner ads as well. The next thing I do once I come from Espionage is that we'll head over to What Runs Where, or you can do AdBeat as well, and we'll do some additional intel because I want to see what banner ads are these guys running. So I'm going to put in the domain name here. And then I can actually see what type of ads they're running, and which ones are active. And this again, this is just again to just get some idea of the type of banners, the type of ads that I would want to create before we launch the campaign. And you can do this across multiple verticals, multiple niches, and especially the bigger niches where there's tons of traffic when you're going after real broad stuff. You know, if you're doing like diet, skincare, any of that stuff, you're going to get a lot more, information. You know, this is more of a niche type thing, but I can export all of these as well. So a lot of these tools really make it easy, to come in and actually start putting these campaigns together. So let's see here. Awesome. All right, cool. So now I'm going to assume a few things before I move forward. I'm assuming you already have your site built out. If you're going white hat, generally, yes, you need to have a compliant site, compliant landing page. I'm going to assume that you already have all that stuff, or if you're doing black hat, then you're going to be cloaking, and it doesn't really matter. So you're just going to go. I'm just going to go right into what we're going to do from there. So one of the things that is very, very important, and Greg touched on this as well, is using conversion pixels. And I specifically wanted to go into what you need to do on the conversion pixel side, because I see a lot of people don't really leverage conversion pixels properly, or the retargeting pixels as well. So generally, based on what the different actions are that I want people to take, then I would actually set up conversion pixels for each of those actions. So if it's a click-through, if it's an opt-in, if it's a lead, whatever that particular conversion is, I want to do. And then also there was a discussion on a group not too long ago about how do you segment and separate out, different devices. And you can also use Google's conversion pixels for that as well. So what I would do for a campaign, so let's just say it's a two-step process. I'm focusing on a lead and I'm focusing on a sell. All right. So basically, I'm sending people to capture an opt-in, and then obviously I want to capture the conversion data for all the sales that come after they give me their name, email, or whatever other information that I'm looking to gather. But I'm also going to put a third conversion pixel, and I'm going to put that right on the landing page, okay? Because we're then going to use that conversion pixel to segment out. So basically, what I would come in here and do is I'll come in here to conversions, and then you want to create a conversion pixel for each one of those different steps, right? So I might go in and say, okay, I want to create a website conversion. This is just going to be landing page segmentation. All right. There's not going to be any value, so I'm not going to assign a value there. I like to count unique conversions. So basically, I don't want, if it's someone that's going opting in multiple times, I don't want to count a conversion every single time. I want unique conversions. I leave this the same. The conversion windows, I leave it for 30 days. And then you can assign what this is. I'm just going to assign as a view of a key page view. All right. And then I'm going to leave the optimization on. Hit done there. And then I'll just hit save and continue. And then I'll actually put this code right here on the landing page itself. All right. So wherever you're sending people to, from where they click on the ad, then you'll want to put that information there. So I'm just going to copy that so I'll have it for later. Next, I'll set up my first real conversion. So if that's a lead, then I'll come in, do the same thing again, create one for a lead, and so on and so forth. Now, after I set up my conversion pixels and I have those things in place, I also want to set up retargeting. And it's very interesting how there's a lot of different ways you can set up retargeting within Google. And I'm going to show you how we do it using custom combinations and actually using the conversion pixels you've already created. Some people prefer the URL method. Some people prefer the tag method. I generally like the tag method. And there's some more advanced stuff you can get into with Google Tag Manager. Excuse me, but for now we're just going to use the tag method. So I'm going to go back here to campaigns. I'm going to head over to shared library. All right, and then we're going to come here to your audiences. So you want to make sure that you actually are building a retargeting database, and Google has really advanced. They've actually taken a note out of Facebook's group, out of Facebook's book, where essentially now you can build not only a retargeting list for the traffic you send, but then Google will also build a lookalike retargeting list for you to also go after as well. And it's a good way that you can actually test and scale your audiences in conjunction with layering. And I'm gonna explain that in more detail as we go through the setup process itself. So basically, I'll come in, I'll create my remarketing list. So I'm going to call this again, landing page prospects, and I'm going to say visitors of a page with a specific tag. So I can either use an existing tag, or I can create a new tag. Now, if you remember, we just created a conversion pixel, right? So we created a conversion pixel for that landing page. So if you see landing page segmentation, so I'm not going to create a new tag. I'm actually going to use the conversion pixel to be the retargeting that I'm going to use, if that makes sense. All right. Generally, when I have that first step in a sequence, I usually maximize the membership duration for 540 days, so that's the maximum. And just for organization purposes, it's always good to give a description as well. So I'm just going to say landing page prospects for segmentation. I forgot to add it. There we go. So then I'll save that. And then I'll come in and then I'll create another remarketing pixel for my real conversion. Now, for this one, let's just say it's PLF leads, right? So I already have that created. So then what you want to be able to do is you want to have your true conversion pixel, okay, and you want to have your landing page segmentation conversion pixel. So I have two conversion pixels, all right? And what you want to do is you want to target, okay? You want to target the prospects, all right, and exclude the conversions, if that makes sense. And the way we can do this is create a custom combination. And what's going to happen is when I create this custom combination, I'll actually be able to use this as an audience when I actually go through and build my campaign in the future. So that's why we're doing this setup first, all right? So, so for this one, I want to do a custom combination, and this is going to be a landing page segmentation targeting. And Google uses a and an or logic. So basically what that means is I'm going to say target any of these audiences, right? And I can use the tags that I created. So target these prospects, okay? So landing page prospects, PLF prospects, and then exclude my real conversions, okay? So none of these audiences, all right? And that's going to be my actual leads, all right? Because the lead actually happens when they fill in the form, opt in, whatever the case may be. All right? So I'm targeting prospects and I'm excluding leads, if that makes sense. So now what happens is when I go to set up my campaign, I actually have this as an audience, okay, as a custom combination audience that I could then go and target, all right? So that's very important for you guys to remember here. All right, cool. Let's see, and I know I'm covering a lot of information here. So I mean, if you guys have questions, go ahead and write them down, put them in. I'll be sure to go through it. So now that we've actually gone through this process, we've done some competitive research. We have a keyword list. We have some ads. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through the process of setting up and creating, okay, creating our campaigns using the AdWords editor. All right. So I actually already have this pulled up here. And we're actually going to go through the process of setting up a new campaign. For those of you who've used this in the past, the AdWords editor has done a major overhaul, probably not even, I think, probably about a month or so ago, where they totally revamped it and came out with a totally new different interface. And it has some benefits, but it also has some drawbacks as well. The major ones I'll get into as we go through and set up the campaigns. So before I actually start building out the campaign, I want to make sure I have the link to destination URL when I'm going to send people. Alrighty. A few people said they look confused about some of the things. Yeah, we'll go through and I'll make sure that I answer those specific questions for you guys. So if a little bit of this stuff is confusing, it's okay. This is an advanced training, so I don't expect you to get it all right out of the gate. But the thing is, again, implementing, testing, and tweaking, and refining what works for you. But I'm definitely going to be, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Excuse me. All right, so how would I do this? So Greg mentioned about creating a spreadsheet, and you want to actually create the spreadsheet first. Just for lack of time, I'm not going to bore you with going through the process of creating a spreadsheet, but it's going to make it much faster when you're uploading a massive amount of keywords. Otherwise, you would actually have to do it by hand, one by one, which is what I'm going to do now, just kind of to walk you through that process. But there are tools out there that can automate this process as well. So if you're talking about a list of 200 to 1,000 keywords, there's no way you're going to sit there and create one keyword per ad group by hand. Okay, so all right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new campaign. So I'm going to call this landing page keyword test 1. All right, so I'm going to target the display network only. Okay, I'm going to exclude search partners, obviously, because we can't do that, and I'm going to set my mobile bid adjustment to -100. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is because I only want to target desktop devices, and unfortunately, Google still counts desktop devices and groups them with tablets. But at least by having a -100 mobile bid adjustment, it's going to exclude your ads from showing up on mobile phones. Now, if you're running a mobile-only campaign, obviously you wouldn't want to do this. So this is speaking more specifically to desktop campaigns and tablet campaigns. Generally, when we launch, depending on the type of budget that you guys have, I generally start with a much smaller budget, so anywhere between $50 to $100 per day. If you have the cash to start with a bigger budget, you can definitely do that. However, I definitely recommend start with a smaller budget if you don't have that cash available. All right, so I'll put that in there. So $50. It says optimize for clicks. Well, if I'm split testing, I want my ads to rotate evenly. So I'll change this and I said show my ads more evenly for 90 days and optimize for clicks, because I basically want to see which ads are going to perform and give them the opportunity to do a true split test. All right. For my bidding strategy, I'm going to do manual PPC, and obviously this is your location targeting. So I'm leaving it for the United States. But if I was setting up campaigns outside of the United States, if I was setting campaigns up for outside of the United States, then obviously I would incorporate that as well. All right. So let's pull up our test document. So now I'm going to add, go here to my ad groups. So basically, again, I'm going to use one keyword per ad group, right? So you can actually just paste these in. Again, it's better if you have the spreadsheet, and I think think Greg has a spreadsheet. I'm not sure if he's going to go through and actually show that. But this is the keyword list that we just downloaded here. All right. So let me sort this. Sort oldest to newest. All right. So these are the keywords that have been seen the longest from the oldest to newest, and it looks like the most recent ones were seen probably about a month ago, but these have been running for a couple of months. So let's just say if I wanted to run everything that's been running for at least 3 months or more, 2 months or more, then basically I would grab these top 25, okay, up into January the 31st to start with. All right. And I'm just going to add all of these as different groups, basically. Yes. Let's see, not important. Group, there we go. All right, so I have 23 ad groups. Now, again, if you had 1,000 of these, like there's no way that you would want to manually go through and do this. So basically, I'm going to have to add each keyword or one keyword per ad group as well. Now, in terms of my max CPC, I'll bid that the same. I always start with a much higher CPC, and I have a low daily budget. So I might set my max cost per click based on what that average CPC is across the board. So, and you can see that here. And this is more based on the search network, more so than a display network. But I can see that the cost per click ranges all the way from 79 cents all the way up to $22.47. So generally I'll take an average of that, but let's just say I'll set it at $3 per click. Now that may seem high, but the reason that I'm doing that is because I want to make sure Google actually shows my ads. Okay. All right. So now I want to go through and add the keywords. So I'm going to add one keyword per ad group. So I'm not going to add multiple keywords. So I'm only going to add, let's see here, I'm not going to make multiple changes. I'm just going to add one at a time. So for this one, it would be, best real estate investments, right? So that would be the keyword for best real estate investments, commercial real estate investing, and I mean, you guys basically get the gist of this here. And so on and so forth. So basically, I would go through adding one keyword for each of these ad groups. Now, again, this is the manual way, so you would want to obviously use some sort of spreadsheet or two that organizes this so you can do a mass upload, or use some sort of automation tool to make that happen. So far, so good. You guys following me? Yes, no, maybe so. Need a little interaction just so that way I know you guys are still there and I'm not hanging out here by myself. All right, awesome. All right, I'll do one more here. Get rich quick. We all love that one, right? Get rich quick. All right, cool. All right, so So let's see here. So we got best real estate investing, commercial real estate investing, get rich quick. So you guys get the idea of essentially what we would do. Just for lack of time, I'm not going to go through and add all 20 of these. So I'm going to delete these so that way we can actually upload this campaign when I'm finished, because there's a few other things I want to show you that you do once you complete this actual setup. All right, so let's see here what I got. So best and commercial and all right, cool. All right, so I'm going to delete all of these other ones. All right, cool. So once I have these, I have everything set in here. I'm going to set up my destination URL for each one of these. And generally, I use a tracking URL. There's a few different tools out there. I believe Greg uses CPV Labs, so you can use CPV Labs. You can use iMobi Tracks. I use a tool called Improvely, and I basically structure my ads the same way. They actually have a built-in campaign, Google Campaign URL builder. So a lot of the stuff is kind of done for you already. But the stuff that's not, you'll just add it. So for this one, let me grab my URL here. All right. And you can actually, you'll be actually be able to update this too when we actually upload our ads. So I'm actually not going to put it here. I'm going to put it when we actually add our ads to the campaign, because I actually make an adjustment for each type of banner ad, especially if I'm using multiple ads, or multiple banner ads, or multiple keyword ads. Okay. Keywords negative. I'm not going to put anything there. Location. We have the United States. We're not going to do any placements right now. Again, this is a keyword target, but I would actually layer this. With a particular topic. Okay, and if you're not familiar with this, this is the layering technique that I was telling you guys about. Obviously, if you're running in a particular niche or in a particular vertical, all topics are not going to be relevant for you. So what I mean by that is this. Make multiple changes here. I should already have everything in here. Again, okay. So I'm in a real estate niche, so obviously arts and entertainment would not be a good vertical to layer on for that. So if you have an idea of what verticals are going to be representative of your offer that you're promoting, then you want to target those and layer those in addition to your keywords, so that way you're specifically targeting those categories in addition to your keywords. So basically, you're telling Google, show my ad not on these websites that have this keyword within the content of the website, but also only show my ads on these verticals of sites. So for me, that would be, investing would be one, credit and lending, banking, whatever. So I just say investing, right? Okay. If I wanted to add another one, okay, we'll do all three of these here. I also want to add real estate. Obviously, I want to add that whole category. So that way, what I'm doing is I'm constricting my campaigns. So this is a much more targeted approach where you can still go to the masses of people, but now it's more focused. So you're just not doing keyword based, but you're also adding the topic based as well. Does that make sense? Okay, excellent, excellent, cool, good. I'm glad you guys are getting it. Same thing here for topics negative. You can go in and exclude certain topics as well. So if you didn't want to have health and beauty, again, this is the real estate niche stuff. So this offers a real estate specific offer that we're promoting as a test to show. So again, I would maybe want to um, exclude those additional topics that aren't relevant to what I'm promoting. All right. You can also get down and you can come into your audiences as well. So you can target specific audiences or exclude specific audiences as well. So if I have, for example, if I know that my offer is going to be relevant, and works really well, especially if you run your offers on Facebook already, you already have access to a lot of that demographic data. So then what I'll do is I'll come behind and I'll actually leverage all of that demo data, and I will only target, say males between the ages of 30 to 55 if I know that they have performed the best to that offer, and exclude the others. All right. And again, once we upload this, I'll show you this just to make a little bit more sense. All right, cool. So for this, we're going to just use some image ads. Now, I already have some ads created for this test, but again, like I showed you earlier, if I wanted to, I could use the ads that we downloaded as kind of like an example to model, and I would probably have my guys just build out a few different variations with my text or some variation of that. All right. So let's see. So I already have ads here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I have image ads selected. I'm going to make multiple changes. I'm going to add images. And I'm going to take my 120, my 160, my 300 by 250, my 728 by 90. We're going to use all of these. All right. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to put in my display URL and my target URL. So this is going to be my display URL. And my target URL is going to be my actual tracking link. All right. And you can put all those variables in here, right? So you can have, so you already see I have placement. I can put in, device. And then, if I want to differentiate as to which ad it is, then I'll have, okay, 120 by 600. And generally what I'll do is I'll just go through each one. So I know this is 120 by 600, 120 by 600, 160 by 600. So I'll update all the 160s. All the 300s by 250s. And all the 728 by 90s. All right, cool. All right, so essentially we're pretty much ready to go. So I'm just going to go through and review everything, make sure I don't have any errors before I upload this, and then I'm actually going to go into the interface and then show you a few other things that we will probably exclude just to again, make our campaigns more tightly defined, but also scalable to the masses. United States, we have our topics we're targeting. We have all of our ads. Everything looks good. So then basically what I'll do, because I don't want this to go live yet, I'm going to pause this. All right. And then I'm just going to post this. All right, cool. All right, so now.
Hey, Sam, before you go any further, I just want to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just, I mean, you touched on it, but you touched on it. I just want people to realize, because everybody's so stuck on Facebook, and a lot of people think that you can't target on GDN like you can on Facebook. Yes, you can. I mean, that's what he just showed you. You can target down to age, gender, different behavioral targeting. I mean, all of this stuff you can target pretty tight. Pretty much, and like you said, especially, if you've already been running stuff on Facebook. Then and you already have an idea of what your demographic is. And I mean, like this is like a total, seamless, integration to here. You can get some, probably pretty similar performance, with GDN as you did with Facebook. So I just want to make sure everybody got this, just the whole targeting piece. I mean, I know it's a little tedious, but this is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna show you guys some more within the interface how you can go and even tweak this a little bit further. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up, man. All right, cool. So now I'm going to take a look here. So this is the ad. This is the campaign we just uploaded, right? See, everything's here. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna make a few other tweaks right out of the gate. So I'm gonna head over here to display network. And you can look at, your placements. Now, remember that I said that, there's this one particular URL you want to make sure that you exclude out of the gate. And again, this really pertains specifically to if you're focusing on targeting desktop or tablets, right? So if you're running mobile, then you may not want to exclude this, but basically you want to exclude your ads from showing up in mobile apps. I cannot tell you, and this frustrated the heck out of me when Google first combined and you couldn't segment out from desktop to tablet to mobile devices. I will always get my ads showing up in these mobile apps, and I would have to manually go through until I found out about this one particular URL, and it automatically out of the gate excludes mobile. And again, this is if your offer is focused specifically on tablet and desktop devices. If you are doing mobile advertising or you're running a campaign that works on mobile or is optimized for mobile, this may not apply. So again, I'm speaking specifically to if you are targeting desktop and tablet devices and you don't want to have apps, have your ads shown in apps. Okay, so basically you would add this exclusion right here out of the gate. AdSense for mobile apps.com. By adding that URL, you're automatically going to be excluding your campaigns for showing up in mobile apps and wasting precious ad spend. All right, and that can save you a ton of money, especially again if you're not targeting mobile. All right, so you definitely want to do that. All right, so I would save that. All right, so let's go over to topics some more. So there are some additional exclusions that I also want to add, and that's your site category options. Okay, A lot of people will launch their campaigns and have all the site categories targeted, and you don't want to, because a lot of times it's not going to be very relevant. So I exclude experimental mobile app non-insertional ads. I don't want these. Okay, so I exclude them from the campaign. All right, this is experimental. Why do you want your stuff running experimental unless you just got ad budget to blow? Doesn't make sense. All right, gambling's already excluded. In-game apps, I want it excluded. Error pages, I want it excluded. Park domains, I want it excluded. Why? Because generally when people hit these pages, they're going to bounce off of these pages, but you still, if you're running CPM, obviously, you don't have to worry about that, but they're just going to be less targeted. Even if they click on your ad, they're going to be less targeted. All right. Also, maybe like juvenile gross bizarre. If you don't want your stuff on weird sites like Hanai sites or anything like that. Not that I know anything about that. I'm just saying if your stuff isn't relevant, then you don't want to have it on there. All right. So these are places where I automatically will exclude out of the gate. All right, topic exclusions. Now, again, I was showing you how you can do it in the AdWords editor, but you can also do it here within the interface. So I know that my particular offer is catered more towards demographic of men who are interested in finance, real estate, investing, things like that. So I might want to exclude arts and entertainment out of the gate. I might want to exclude, maybe, I don't know, computers and literature or food and drink, okay, because it won't be relevant. All right. And again, you can drill down and do this. Pets and animals. That may not be relevant to me, and you can actually drill down on this as well. So you may want to, if men have an affinity for, for dogs, I may exclude exotic or I may exclude rodents and rabbits or fish and aquaria. I mean, you can really get granular with this. But again, I just want you to think about how you're setting up your campaign so that way you can launch them with the very high probability for success out of the gate. All right, demographics. Okay, again, very, very important. If I know that my offer is focused or converts, higher to men than women, then I might want to exclude females, right? So that way, it's only showing the males. I don't exclude unknown because what I found sometimes is that you will get conversion from unknown. It just hasn't been defined. All right. Same thing with age groups. I may want to exclude particular age groups because I just know they're not going to perform. So 18 to 24, 25 to 34, and 65 or older. I want the 35 to 55 because I know that that's my target. Age group. All right. So I'm going to exclude all of the other age groups. So, and what you're doing is you're really just, again, increasing your probability for success. And here's the thing. You would think with all of these constraints that it's like, well, damn, there's not going to be any sites left. People fail to realize how big the Google Display Network is. There's so much traffic. Even with just these 3 keywords, I would get a ton of traffic. So imagine if you did this, right, with all these constraints, and then you launched it out, and you have 200, 300, to 1,000 keywords. And again, when you're going in much bigger verticals, you have even more room for exclusion. But even within the niche, such as real estate, I will still get a ton of traffic. It's just going to be that much more focused and increase my probability for a successful campaign right out of the gate. So from here, I would actually turn the campaign on and start gathering data, all right? And then that's when you would actually start looking at your placement reports and start going through and doing those exclusions. So just to show you, this is a campaign that we're testing now. And you can see the sites that we're showing on, but I also have a huge exclusion lists as well, right? And that's because I know that these sites or these targets, these placement targets, haven't performed. And as I get more data over time, and I identify, to Greg's point earlier, as I identify which placements are performing, and I'm getting the most conversions from, then those are the ones that I'll turn around and then I'll create a placement targeted campaign specifically, all right, focusing on those URLs that I know are converting for me. Or if you can go and approach them directly and see if you can do a direct site buy. So, and Greg, I think it's a good segue into the placements and the spreadsheet as well that you wanted to show.
All right, perfect. Yeah, sounds good. Let's give it up for Sam, everybody. You guys like that? I tell you what, I'm gonna give everybody, because I'm such a nice guy, I'm gonna give everybody a copy of the replay. That actually paid. So, but yeah, definitely go through and look that up. I mean, look at that again, because he actually went over a couple things that I'm not doing myself that is gonna help my performance even more. But yeah, let me get back to the prezo here. Let's see here. Gotta make myself the presenter. All right, does everybody feel kind of like this? Oh, here. Everybody feel like that? I know I do. My mind is just blown. Yeah, give it up for Sam. He's did an awesome job there. All right, let me move that. All right. So before I get into the spreadsheet here, I need to go over a very important piece of information here. And Sam talked about it, but the whole issue of mobile is extremely important. All right, because I would say, generally speaking, on GDN, mobile does not convert. Just overall, does not convert as well as computer or tablet. Me being very general. And so, just generally speaking, you can really lose your ass, when mobile is engaged, because it seems like most of the traffic, especially when you first cut on a campaign, is mobile. I mean, let's face it. I mean, these days, the majority of the traffic is mobile. I mean, I'm not talking if you talk about Facebook, Google, or whatever. So, the mobile consideration is very important. Like in the case that he talked about, because he was going to offer, that performed better on desktop. He cut off mobile totally. But before I get into the spreadsheet, it's important for me to point out to you kind of how this mobile thing works. So I'm gonna give you this is like taken from one of my GDN campaigns. Actually, I think it was the same one. And but you can actually segment by device. And so here's what you're gonna see. Okay, so overall, this is the ad group. Okay, so overall, the cost per conversion was $30. All right, and remember I said we're making like 37, so it's profitable. But let's see the breakdown. So computers, like $28, and your average cost per click was 50 cents. Mobile is $44, which is not profitable. Look how many conversions it got. So kind of caught me sleeping there. But that's at 32 cents a click. And then tablets did really well. Did 21 cents. Excuse me, $21. So in this case now, like when Sam set up the campaign, you saw that you had a mobile multiplier. So you could set it to I'll just give you an example. So let's just say, for example, like you bid $1. Okay, so you bid $1 on the particular ad group. So if you set your mobile bid to be negative 50%, then that means that your mobile bid will be 50 cents. All right, so your regular bid is $1, mobile bid will be 50 cents. Okay, but as you can see right here, if your mobile bid is 50 cents, because this is 32 cents, like you're losing money. All right, so let's look at this other ad group here. Now this is pretty much the same thing. let's see, the computer is $33, mobile $52, and then tablet is $44. So I can pretty much stand to lower the bid on both of these, and this one needs to be lowered substantially. I mean, so let's call it 30 cents. So even if we cut it in half, 15 cents, then maybe we could get something that was profitable. But oops. But I just wanted you to I just wanted to show you the significance of that whole mobile multiplier. But the mobile thing is also kind of the key to scaling too. Now here's another ad group. All right. And look at this one. So average is $28. Now this one mobile is cheaper. All right. This is $30 per conversion. Mobile is like $17 at 21 cents per click, and then tablet, was 32. So as you can see, like it varies ad group by ad group by ad group. I mean, there's some ad groups where you just want to cut mobile off altogether, but there's a lot of where you want to, but you just got to give it a lower bid. Like for this one, like say if I could have bid, like I said, if I could have bid or got the clicks at like 15 cents, that's 22. But now that would be great. Okay, that would have worked very well. But at this price, it's a little bit high. So this is kind of like some of the decisions that you need to make, data-driven decisions that you need to make as far as like what you want to bid, and more importantly, how you want to deal with the mobile multiplier. Okay. So having said that, I'm going to the spreadsheet. Now I was talking about making it rain. This is really making it rain right here. This is it. Arab money. Look, you just taking stacks. I mean, just ridiculous. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's goals. That's goals for you right there, people. That's my goals right there. Arab money. All right. All right. So let me show you the spreadsheet now. I've had to change some of the names to protect the innocent here, or i.e., not out my campaign here. So let me make this a little bigger. All right, so this is actually targeting. I'm going to take off some of the stuff that's not important. It's not important. This is not important. This is not important. I think everything else is important. All right, so now this spreadsheet, people will know like, can they get a copy of the spreadsheet, whatever. This spreadsheet is what you get from Google, okay? Like when you go to look at your stats, then there's a little button that has like an arrow going down. That's download. So you can download like whatever, report is there. Whatever columns you want, you can download. This is all I did. All I did was download it, and I didn't want to show you like all of my keywords and ad groups and stuff. So I had to change those. All right, so you can see all the stuff here. All right, so so this is the exact spreadsheet that you get from Google, download from Google. The only thing that I did was I sorted by conversions, and then I just cut off everything that didn't convert. All right, so these are everything that converted. All right, so I have like 232 placements that converted. All right, so this is what it's all about. Like the first $37,000 that I spent, this is what it was all about to get this information right here. Okay, and just to show here. Let me see if I can. Here, let me see. Just to show how valuable this is. Okay, so it's cost per conversion. All right, so let me. This would be earnings. Let me just make a new thing here for earnings. So earnings are going to be number of conversions times 37. All right, so this is how much money we made from all this stuff. So, and this I could have actually downloaded from the report as well, but I don't normally look at that column. All right, so these are. All right, so that's the earnings. So if you do the sum, I'm gonna just tell you the effective cost per click here. I mean earnings per click. All right, so if you add this up, Actually, you know what? Let's add all of it up. I'm gonna add all this up real quick. My thing's going slow. And these are real numbers. Like I said, I just had to change the name of the ad groups and stuff, and keywords. All right. So, where's my? Oops. There we go. All right. So got the sum there. 36,000. This is all money. And now we're going to do clicks. All right. Let's see. Man, it's freaking. All right. And now where's my clicks? Clicks. And this is overall all the devices and everything. All right. So we're gonna add that up. So now overall EPC. Well, here I'll just do it down here. EPC equals this divided by this, and it's not giving me. Oh, here we go. Okay, that didn't work here. Just is like not trying to cooperate with me here. Let's try this again. Okay, it's over $1 because you can see 36,000, 24,000, so it's over $1. Okay, so this is like what's going to happen when you're only dealing with the placements that converted. All right. Fuck. All right. Oh, $1.50. There you go. $1.50. All right. So we're basically looking at an EPC of $1.50. Okay. Now keep in mind, like my average, cost per click is right around 40 cents. All right. So if you can pay 40 cents and your EPC is $1.40, I mean, like you're almost tripling your money there. Okay. So this is it. Like of everything, all the money that you spent. Okay. This is everything that actually converted, that actually made money. All right. Now, the fact that I have the device over here, like this is pretty important, and here's why. So here's what I'm gonna do. First of all, I don't want the stuff that had really high cost of conversion. So I'm gonna sort this based on cost per conversion. And we're gonna go largest to smallest. All right. So obviously I don't want anything, my cost per, let's just say I'm gonna cut off everything above $30. Let's just say, I'll say $30. So anything above 30, oops, I'm getting rid of. I don't want to consider my calculations. All right, so this is all gone. All right, so now everything else on here is profitable. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do now. Since like Sam was saying, basically Google lumps tablet and computer together. Okay, so I mean there's different tricks or whatever, different workarounds that you can kind of do to isolate, one or the other, but for the most part they're together. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sort by device here. This is some serious ninja shit. This is the ninja shit. All right, so this is the ninja shit. So pay attention. This is the ninja shit. All right, so we're gonna sort by that. Sort by device, A to Z. Bam. All right. So for this, I'm going to get rid of computers and tablets. All I want to look at is mobile. All right. All I want to look at is mobile. Now this is key because as you'll see from a later slide, money call. Talk to you later, money. as you'll be able to see from a later slide, mobile is pretty much one of the keys to really scaling this out. All right. So right now we're isolating everything that just worked on mobile. All right. So now this is all mobile. So this is all mobile. You know, that was profitable. So these are all the different placements. So now here's what I would do. I would. Here, let me make a. How am I gonna do this? Okay, so for all these, here's what I'll do. Like let's assume that I'm gonna have a high bid of 80 cents. All right, I'm gonna have a high bid of 80 cents. So if we look now again, keep in mind here, I had like 230 something placements that converted. Okay, so I don't have time to go placement by placement and like place an individual bid. So this is kind of like a quick and dirty way of doing your bids. All right. So what I want to do here is all these different. I'm gonna call this. We're gonna call this mobile heavy. All right. So for mobile heavy, I'm gonna assign this a value of, let's say, 60%. Let's say 60%. All right. So this is going to be 60%. So and the reason I said that is because, so for all of these, so say if I'm bidding 80 cents, all right, so then 60% of 80, well, say 40% of 80 cents is 24 cents. All right, so basically what I'm saying is that, you know, for these, I want to bid 24 cents on mobile. And as you can see, it kind of works out. I mean, because these are, you know, all kind of all over the place, but 24 cents seems to be right. So I'm gonna so this is gonna be my 60%. All right, so this is those. So for these ad groups, I'm going to make the mobile bid adjustment at minus 60%. All right. Now let me go back to these other ones here. Let me go back to this original thing here. Here, let me open this up again. I'm gonna save this real quick. Save this as edited. All right. So now let me go back to this other one here. Okay, and now make this bigger. I'm gonna do the same thing. So now I'm gonna take out all of the mobile, because basically all the mobile ones that I listed, these are the only placement. These are only placements where the mobile was profitable. So let me sort these by device. All right, so now for this one, I'm going to take mobile out. I'm going to take mobile out. So all I'm going to have is tablets and computers, which I unfortunately cannot separate. Very unfortunately. All right, so now these are going to be my ones I'm gonna call for mobile. I'm gonna call these negative 100%. All right, because for most of these, you know, mobile didn't work at all. Because think about it, if mobile would have worked, then it would have been on the first list. All right, so now these are all going to be just strictly focused on computer and tablets, and so these are going to be 100% mobile excluded. All right. So actually, I guess you could have just did this part first, and then just made all the other ones were minus 60%. And minus 60% is different. I mean, like you have some, you know, different placements that you know, can use a higher mobile bid and you'll still make money. But this is just a rough and tumble way. Like this will take you less than 10 minutes, you know, to like do this. Like, okay, well these are the ones that I want to be, you know, 100%, and then these are the ones that I want to be 60%, and you can actually upload these like straight into the AdWords editor. You can just copy and paste, and you can do the mobile adjustment there. So it's a really quick and dirty way. Because here's the thing, I mean, because you're gonna have a lot of placements that do well with mobile. I mean, the thing about it is that the cost per click is gonna have to be way lower. You know, normally you don't want anything above 20-30%. Excuse me, 20 or 30 cents per click. All right, for mobile. But that's one of the big keys for one of the big keys for really scaling up, because there's lots of mobile traffic. So if that makes sense, I'm going to take the time to really make sure you guys understand this. Some questions. Oops. You still there?
Yep.
What do my thing? Oh, here we go. Oops. Okay. Where is? Oh well, I lost my shit. Where's my webinar? Recording. I don't know. As long as you guys can hear me, I guess that's makes the.
I can see him here. Okay. I can see him. I can see the questions coming.
All right. Well, yeah.
I can read them all.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Awesome, guys. So, were there any specific questions about what Greg just covered? Orsini asked, so the minus 60% would be on a campaign only for the profitable mobile placements, correct?
Yes. And again, I mean, the numbers, vary. I mean, like if the best bid for the computer and tablet, maybe that bid is 70 cents, then that 60% might change. If you want the mobile to be 35%, then that'll be 50%. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's the main point is just like trying to separate, because you do want to see the ad groups that do well with mobile, the placements do well with mobile, because you definitely want to do more of that, because normally it's more traffic.
Got it. So Sansu is saying, to reiterate, you make your mobile bids minus 100 and desktop 60% of the original bid.
Yeah, for the placements that don't convert well on mobile, yeah, then those we make negative 100%. We don't want any mobile. But for the ones that do perform well with mobile, then we want to do like minus 60%.
PP asks, have you ever tried redirecting the tablet traffic to a different offer?
No, I have not. Okay. I have not. I mean, just generally speaking, I mean, like, for one thing, I mean, you gotta understand, like, I'm dealing with like pretty big and broad markets, and there's not, even if it loses money, like say, even if my CPA on tablet would be like $70-$80, there's not too much I could substitute for that would do any better. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing I'm running is pretty much the best thing going. I mean, as far as monetization. So, I mean, I could throw in a squeeze page or something like that, but I mean, I've just found that it's just, you just gotta suck it up sometimes,
Awesome. Leonardo's asking, do you have any specific landing pages or offer examples you could show?
No. Sure don't.
Not giving away to go today. Okay. We got a couple people asking about how do we get new accounts if we've been banned before? You want to go over that, or you want me to jump into that?
Yeah, I mean, I could throw in my 2 cents, and then you can follow up. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing that you got to keep in mind. All right, Google is in the business of giving out new accounts. Okay, they want people to sign up. They're doing TV commercials and direct mail. Like, they want people to sign up for accounts. Okay, so they're in the business of giving out accounts. All right, so if they ban you, then you just have to make sure that they think that you're somebody else. Okay, so and the way you do that, you need a different computer. All right, there's all these myths and legends about ghost cookies and all this type of stuff. Best thing you can do is wipe your whole computer if you're going to use a physical computer, or use an entire different browser, I mean, if you're really concerned about the cookies, or you could use a VPS, all right, some kind of variable, I mean, excuse me, some type of virtual private server, some type of remote server. It could be a cloud server, just any like, virtual computer somewhere where you just have a virtual computer where you can log in, because that way you're isolated from cookies, and you and you have your own dedicated IP address. So when I say clean computer, I mean actual computer itself, and also you need a different IP address. All right. You need a different form of payment. All right. So whatever credit card or debit card that you use that got banned, you can't use that anymore. Not only that, but Google looks at the first 8 numbers, your BIN number, the first 8 numbers on the credit card or debit card. And so if those first 8 numbers are the same, then they can also link it. Okay, now not the first time around, maybe not, but if you're like me and like have like hundreds of accounts over the years, then they would definitely link those BIN numbers, and then you'll be gone. So different form of payment, which also entails a different billing address. All right, so you don't want to use the same billing address. Name doesn't really matter, but billing address, definitely does. So new computer, new IP, new form of payment, and just new everything else. Like, don't obviously run the same ads. Definitely don't run the same domain name and website. Just make sure all that stuff's different. And that's pretty much it. I mean, like, if you're gonna if you're gonna be running any kind of volume, I mean, you can't just start a new ad account today and be running like $10,000 a day on Friday. Like, that ain't gonna happen. I mean, like, if you're, and as a matter of fact, I mean, like, and people don't want to hear this because they're impatient, which I don't blame them, but it is what it is. I mean, I've done this a lot, and like, if you're starting like if I'm starting like out farm, like, if I have a bunch of brand new accounts, like, I would warm up those accounts for at least 30 days. All right, I'll set up some type of campaign, either to some type of nonprofit or just something that's totally above board that won't be banned. And maybe just like $5 a day, $10 a day, or whatever. But I'll warm it up for like at least a month, and then because I do some, I use Cloaker, do some some quote unquote black hat stuff or whatever. So then I'll start running quote unquote dirty. Not to say that you can't do it any faster, but I'm just telling you that's what works the best. Like, if you actually wait and actually do like another kind of campaign. Now, if you're doing white hat stuff, then you could probably do the white hat stuff as part of that warm up. I'm speaking specifically from like a black hat standpoint. Like, I'm not gonna do anything dirty. I'm not gonna run any kind of cloak diet skin or anything like that until at least a month. But if you're running some really legit white hat stuff, then you probably don't have to wait that long. But in order for you to do some serious volume, I mean, it's definitely gonna be a process. You can't just like turn on the switch and start balling. So.
Yep. Awesome. I think Greg pretty much covered most of it. I would just throw in one of the VPS hostings that we use that have very affordable Windows VPS hosting is called AccuWeb. It's ACCU, AccuWebHosting.com. And I think
it's about to not work anymore.
About to get
kiss that one goodbye.
Yeah, they got a few different data centers, so hopefully, if you guys keep it close to the chest, that should be sufficient. Kurt asks, how would you optimize for 2 different conversions? For example, in my market, I can pay like $10 to $20 to get a webinar registrant lead, but then of course I need to watch those leads to see how they convert into sales. Any tips and tricks to get rid of the ad groups that don't convert to leads and then pare down based on sales? That's pretty straightforward.
I'll let you handle that one.
Yeah, I mean, basically what we do. Well, I first of all, I use two layers of tracking. So I would use the Google Conversion Pixel for sales, and then I would run, and then also use the Google Conversion Pixel for leads. And then when I ran my reports, I would actually break down my sales reports and look at the individual conversions itself. So not only am I looking at the lead conversions, but I'm looking at the sales conversions directly in the placement reports. And you can actually segment your placement reports by conversion. So you can look at not only the exact placements, but you can also look at it from an ad group standpoint as well to see, okay, yeah, I got 100 leads in this particular ad group, but I only got 1 sale. In this ad group, I got 20 leads, but I got 5 sales, and then you can exclude it like that. So when you do your placement reports in Google, segment it by conversions, and you should be able to get that data. So I hope that makes sense. How long will you do clean? Can you answer that already? It says, how do you implement the proxy? How do you implement the proxy conversion pixel if you're cloaking? What I would do is I would use like a PHP redirect. So when you're cloaking, instead of sending when you're cloaking in your cloaking URL, instead of actually sending directly to the landing page, if you want to, or if you're just sending directly to an offer page, just use a redirect first, and then in that redirect you can actually put the conversion put that pixel in there, so it fires before it goes to the landing page. So it's just basically you're sending it through basically 2 pages before they get there, but it's seamless.
You're giving away too much. Giving away too much here, man. No, we actually have it like with the cloaker. We have a little tool called the Pixel Proxy, and all you do is, basically kind of what you said, but yeah, you can load all your proxies into this one page, and then you put that page on somewhere else, like whatever site you want. It probably needs to be a secure site, because most of if it's a for sale offer, it's probably gonna be a secure thank you page. Yeah. But then that way, like Google can't see the page that is actually causing conversion. They can't look. It's like, oh, it's such and such diet product, Garcinia man, So all they see is like basically is a blank page. So, but that Pixel proxy tool, Pixel proxy tool makes that easy. So you didn't hear what he just said. I was like, jury, please disregard. You gotta get the cloaker.
Yeah, I got you. When promoting CPA, do you guys recommend a thank you page after the opt-in, replacing conversion, or landing page redirect to offer, and then tracking the sales?
Read that one again.
It says, when promoting a CPA, do you recommend just doing a thank you page after the opt-in, or for placing the converted pixel, or just doing a landing page redirect? It's kind of what Greg just said. With the cloaker, you can actually just drop the pixel through the proxy. So yeah, a redirect basically, as opposed to sending them to a thank you page, so that way they can get there.
Yeah. But again, you just gotta watch it. I mean, if you're cloaking, yeah, you can do whatever you want. But if you're not cloaking, then you just gotta make sure that page is something that Google likes.
Yep, absolutely. Is there another display network you would recommend that are more tolerant to direct marketing campaigns? Yes and no. So you have RTBs, which stand for real-time bidding platforms, that have access to all the different exchanges. So, for example, Site Scout has access to the DoubleClick exchange, the Right Media exchange, etc. And there's still an approval process. The only downside to that is that you do not get anywhere near the intelligence that you would get, directly from Google. So the answer is yes, but you're gonna blow through so much money first, and plus you can't bid CPC either. You're gonna be running CPM.
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, I would highly advise you not to do that. I mean, like Sam said, unless you have money to burn. I mean, here's the deal, like, there's nothing better than this. I mean, like I said in the promos, like, this is media buying made easy, okay? There's nothing better than this, because once you have that list, like, for example, like for my for the example I showed you, I had like 220 something placements. If I really felt like it, and I actually contacted some of those people, do you think I could make individual deals with them, and even get better terms? Like, of course, I probably could, because Google's got to get their share. And anytime you're paying per click, I mean, you're always paying CPM, always. Okay, Google is basically kind of like just handicapping it, and they're going to make their profit. But if you have a good enough ad, and CTR and everything, then you can cut them out. I'm not saying you should do that. I mean, I've done it before. I mean, it's work. I mean, if you have, it'd probably be good if you had another team to do that. But there's nothing better than this. So if you're worried about the approval process, then cloak.
Yep.
Superaffiliatecloaker.com. I mean, that's what you have to do. I mean, like, because if you there's no other place that you can get this level of targeting, this level of intelligence. I mean, there's no other place. There's none. And why would you? I mean, so this is the biggest. This is the biggest in the world. And like I said, RTB is great and everything, but you really gotta know what you're doing. I would maybe like now I'll take my winning banners that I got from here, and stuff I got from here, and then I might go to RTB because I have an idea of the sites that convert, so I can use those same sites or at least sites similar to them. But there's nothing better than this, at least just to start with.
Are there any tools you use to manage campaigns so you can make your analysis easier?
You know what? I mean, no, not really. I mean, man, people always ask this question. I mean, I remember my very first, I did this course, Super Filler Rocks, back in 2009. My first, like, Mr. 50K a day, I was making all kinds of money and everything online. And so everybody was very eager to learn it. So when I did this kind of, like webinar series to teach it, I'm like tediously, I'm looking at the sub IDs and counting conversions and putting them on spreadsheet like by hand. People are like, is there like an easier way to do this? And I'm like, no, not really. I was like, people want to make all this money and they want to do all this stuff, but they don't want to do it. They want to be uncomfortable at all. They don't want to do any kind of work. Everything has to be automated and super, super fast, and it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. I mean, like, ask Kobe. Like, is there like a really fast way to shoot at a high percentage and dunk and do all that and play defense like you do? There's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts. So no, I mean, I tell people all the time, like, my biggest tool has always been Microsoft Excel. It's always been spreadsheets. And yes, it can be tedious. I mean, I've literally spent hours and hours and hours, sometimes in a day going through these spreadsheets and finding, the jewels and finding something that work. I mean, that's the name of the game, because once you do that, then it kind of gets easy. See, now if you look at the campaign I have now, like, once I went through that spreadsheet, like, day one was profitable. Like, it's profitable, like, because all I'm hitting is just stuff that already worked, and it's just getting better and better and better. But you witness, the beating I had to take, in the beginning, to get that. So it's the same thing. I mean, it's no shortcut, there's no easy way. I've met so many people, so many smart people, programming wizards that promised me, oh, there's an easy way to do this, easy way to do this, and guess what? They're still broke, trying to figure out a faster, easier way. I put in the time and did it. And yeah, once you get into it, there's definitely software tools that you can use. But I mean, I told you exactly what I do, how I do it. Right. This is what I do. Sam told you exactly what he does, and we're tops, tops of what we do. So I mean, sometimes there's not a shortcut.
Yeah, I would just say just have a solid tracking platform. I mean, that's really going to help you get a lot of the information you need to be successful. So, either, use CPV Labs or iMobi Tracks. I mean, you get a lot of data from your tracking platform to help you make intelligent decisions. But that's really going to, be the best way. But like, yes, at the end of the day, you still got to export data, sort it to get that information anyway.
But if you do figure out that system, please let me know, man. We could be billionaires. Please. I mean, if you guys got something, I'm down to look at it.
All right, a couple more. We have says any tips on getting your black hat past the approval process on traffic networks, i.e., Rev content?
Cloak. I mean, our cloak are like it can be configured for any traffic source. So, we have a little simple procedure that we can put you through. Excuse me, and it can cloak for whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little bit harder to cloak display networks, just for the simple fact that well, actually no, I take it back, because like. Here, look at it like this. Not to say that they don't do this, but here's the challenge, like with the Google, with the Rev content, like it's pay per click. All right, so if they're trying to like look at your site, then they actually click on it, and they're actually costing you money. That's click fraud. You know what I'm saying? Like Google can't click on your ad to make you pay money to Google, so they're going to be very reluctant to do that. They're going to be very reluctant to click on your ad as a surfer. So which is your advantage as somebody that's trying to cloak. Okay, so it works. I mean, it works no matter what. So yeah, I mean, you could cloak with ref content. I mean, generally speaking, a lot of times, even for myself, like I don't necessarily cloak all the time. Like, I'll do a bait and switch, type of thing. But even now, you got to be careful with that because like these networks, they'll take a picture, like they'll take a snapshot of your site when they first approve it, and if they look at it again, and if it changes, even if you're split testing stuff, if it changes, then it could be an issue. So yeah, I mean, but it can all there's countermeasures for everything. So yeah, I mean, if you wanna, you can cloak whoever.
Awesome. Do you know of any black hat ways to avoid getting caught with trademark bidding?
Um, yes, I do, but that's definitely an advanced topic. So they need to have to hit me up. I don't know, but I have a client that is very good at that. So they need to hit me up personally for that.
All right. Let's see. If you add a conversion pixel on tracking platform, do you still need to add a conversion pixel on Google? Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah, you got to, yeah, absolutely, double absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
tracking is the number one thing. That's why, like, I mean, people, talk about shortcut. That's not even shortcut. That is just something that you absolutely like. You should never spend a penny on paid traffic if you can't track it. If you can't track everything, So yeah, absolutely, tracking is crucial. And I double up my tracking. I have my tracking platform, and through Google the conversion pixel. So even if the pixel doesn't work at all, I still know exactly what's going on. So yeah, tracking is crucial.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time. All right. Is there a way to target websites as opposed to keywords for concentrated PPV campaigns? Yeah. Just get a URL scraper. You know, that's what I would recommend. Do you? I mean, I don't know if you still do a lot of PPV, Greg, but
Yeah, no. I would say the same thing. URL scraper.
all right, awesome. Tracking platform you use? You still use CPV Labs? Is that correct?
Yes.
So CPV Labs. I'm interested. Someone says I'm interested and willing to pay you good money if you can teach me how to cloak team bidding. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Leo.
Like I said, hit me up. Greg at superfillerrockstar.com. Put trademark in all caps in the subject. I'll hook you up, my guys.
URL scrapers don't exist anymore. Actually, they do. There's a site called App Portal. I believe they have one.
Yeah, App Portal has them. App Expert has them too. If you want to stack that money.
Yeah.
But yeah, App Portal works the best actually. Like that's one I use.
All right. When you said you should use new URLs for a new Google account, assuming you're tracking, does that mean each time you open a new account, you have to install CPV Labs again and use a new domain?
Well, no, I mean I'm not gonna use that tracking link. I'm not gonna lead with it. I mean,
Right.
not me. You might be able to get away with it. And I had something for myself. Um, Normally I'm gonna be cloaking anyway, so I'm gonna put my tracking link. That's gonna be the quote unquote money site or real site that the people actually see. I mean, I'm not gonna lead with whatever my tracking is. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm gonna just like meta refresh to it, whatever. But I'm not going to actually show that to Google.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, I think that's a that's a lot of questions there. I think that's pretty much it. You guys got anything else?
Well, here, I was done. I just wanted to kind of take a pause for the cause here. I got a
Awesome.
couple more things here. And you can definitely chime in on this too. Let me find my thing here. Can y'all still see my screen?
Yep. Yep.
All right, cool. I don't know what happened to my thing. I can't see nothing. But anyway, all right. So now, we had the spreadsheet. We got all our data. We figured out, how we want to bid, as far as the mobile multiplier. So now let's talk about, how to scale that. All right. So, here's a few things that you can do. You can add more keywords. All right. And so, like Sam was saying, once you have identified those placements, so say I think my example is like 200 something placements. So then you can make each placement could be its own ad group. All right. And so then you could put in more keywords. Now, see, what you're gonna find is like when you first you ran the first part of the campaign when you had your like 1,000 keywords and you found all these different placements. Well, out of that 1,000 keywords or 2,000, and honestly, you may have like 30 to 40 maybe that actually got some traffic. Okay, so you're gonna take those 30 to 40 keywords and then you're gonna put those in a campaign. So right now, so let's start and just think about all of the different target layering that Sam talked about. Okay, so you have so say your number one best placement was abc.com. All right, so you can put abc.com in the ad group by itself as a placement. And so then you're gonna add keywords. So you're gonna add your 30 to 40 keywords that actually got traffic from the first part of your campaign. But then you can also add more keywords, all right? And you can add as many keywords as you want. Now, if you have a lot of ad groups, if you have like 200 ad groups and you try to add 1,000 keywords, like it's going to take a minute. But you can do it. But it's not even necessary to add like a whole bunch of them at one time because, if you just like I was saying, like, however the algorithm works, they only ended up grabbing like 2 or 3 keywords. Like say for example, again, like take weight loss for example. Say like I may have put in like 1,000 different weight loss keywords, and it actually may only pull traffic from fast diet. It's never the ones that you think. I mean, it wouldn't be like diet or lose weight. It'd be like fast diet. It'd be like Atkins diet, or it'd be like just some keywords in there. So, but anyway, if you put all those keywords in there, then you can also add keywords to parallel niches. All right, because here's the thing. You know that your offer, your product, your page, whatever, you know that it converts on this placement. You know it does really well on this placement. All right, you know it does well at abc.com. So now it's a matter of how you get more traffic from abc.com. Now you could just remove all the keywords altogether. I would tell you that normally doesn't work too well. If it's a website that is very tightly relevant to your offer, maybe. Like if it's weight loss, and if the site is all about weight loss, then maybe that might work. But if it's something like about.com or newsweek.com or foxnews.com, it's not gonna work if you just have it basically like run a network around the whole thing. So so you want to constrict it with some keywords. So but now your job is to find out how to get as much traffic as you can from that placement, based on around your theme. So one thing you could do is you could add keywords from parallel niches. Okay, so say for example, you're talking about weight loss. So then maybe you want to add keywords for fitness. Maybe you want to add keywords for nutrition. Okay, maybe you want to add keywords for other niches, other parallel niches that still get your same demographic, right? So that's one way that you can expand the traffic. The other thing that you can do is the topics. Okay, again, just like Sam said, you can start with that placement, but then you could go into the different topics, different categories. So maybe there's a health category, might be a fitness category, might be a weight loss category. I don't think there is, but but you can use one of those categories. Okay, so you can use that. You can also use behavioral targeting. Okay, so say for example you're on like foxnews.com, and you're doing well in there with your weight loss specific keywords. Maybe you want to try mothers. Oh, that's the other thing. Gender, first of all. I mean, like this is probably one of the first things you want to do. But number one, I mean, generally, like if it's things like weight loss or skincare, stuff like that, it's always targeted at women. So I would definitely target women and exclude men. So maybe if you have like a really big general site like Fox News, then maybe you could target more demographics. You can get behavioral or different audiences. You can get like mothers. You get like mothers over a certain age or whatever. So now you're talking about mothers that look at Newsweek or Fox News. Okay, so now you're kind of getting, because you want to have a broad audience, so you want to have as much exposure as possible. At the same time, you want it to be exposed to the right people. So, if you're looking at mothers that look at Fox News, now, 9 times out of 10 they want to lose weight. 9 times out of 10 they want to look younger, or whatever. So, so that's something that you can do. So again, behavior targeting, you can target that way. You can target the various audiences, all the stuff that Sam went over. But again, one thing you really want to do to scale, you really want to focus on mobile, all right? Because that's really where most of the traffic is. So if you can get your page or your offer, your site, whatever it is, to convert well on mobile, you have a much better chance of really being able to scale big. All right, so that's why I went through that first example. Really focus on the placements that did well with mobile. Really focus on those because because the mobile traffic is the most plentiful right now. So definitely focus on mobile. Then also just like Sam was talking about, if you use those pixels, then you can build your audience, and then you can use lookalike audiences to scale that way as well. So does that make sense, everybody? I still can't see anything, but
Yes, lots of yeses. Great.
I can't believe I can't find this thing. All right. So yes, I think that's pretty much. So you want to be the baby with all the money, and that's what you got to do. This thing says locked. All right, Sam. Anything else you wanted to throw in, or?
No, that's I mean, we gave a lot of actionable information. I think the biggest thing is that, this is one of those webinars that we turned on the fire hose, and you definitely want to go back through it, but this stuff requires practice and time, and I think we can actually probably even serve you much better in a live setting,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, before we get into that, any more questions, comments? I want to make sure everybody walks away satisfied. I don't want you using the old email address.
Let's see here. Is there ways to target websites as opposed to keywords? Yes, that's what Greg was talking about when he was saying you can target placements exclusively. So you can actually pull out all of the winning URLs and converting URLs and create a targeted placement campaign as opposed to just starting with keywords. So absolutely.
Like I said, but just keep in mind, that's the whole site. So, your page needs to be tightly related to it, and if not, then you probably want to throw in some more targeting.
Yep. If you have a low budget when starting, remember what I showed you during the setup process is that you want to start with a small daily budget, but bid high on your CPC to make sure that your ad is getting shown. So yes, you can launch campaigns on a lower budget as well. Rob asked, getting different credit cards and billing addresses, do you have any tips on where and how you could do that?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, we have this trick. The different billing addresses is a pain in the ass. Definitely. People have done like the whole UPS thing, but I wouldn't do that because I think Google has all those things mapped out. So don't use like UPS office or whatever it is. There's definitely virtual offices that you can use, but really the easiest thing to do, and this used to work a lot better. Now you probably got about a 50-50. It's about a 50-50 chance that this works. But I'll just tell you anyway, because I pretty much still use it. But it's called the zip code trick. All right, and so basically, this is a really easy way to get around it and to get a billing address. So here's what you do. For most credit cards and debit cards, unless they go through some type of more advanced address verification, pretty much the only thing that has to match as far as the real, data with the billing with the credit card is the zip code. Okay, so as long as the zip code matches, then typically a credit card will go through, no matter what the address is, as long as the zip code is the same. So. And if you notice, even now at Facebook, they don't even ask for address; they just ask for the zip code. All right. So Google is pretty much the same way, but they do ask for the entire address. So what you could do is say like your zip code is say your zip code is like 21212. All right. Jackson, Baltimore. So you could basically go to, like, what I would do, like, I'll go to like the whitepages.com. Actually, go to yellowpages.com, then look on the people, and then I would put in like a fairly common last name. So say you can say something like Davis. So put Davis and then put the zip code 21212. All right, so then it's gonna pull up, like all the listed Davises they have that's in the zip code. So you can basically pick whoever you want, and use their address, use their, for your billing information. I mean, you can even use a phone number if you want. I don't think Google is really making, cold calls or anything like that, so you're probably pretty safe with that. I know I've done it many times. I've never had a problem. So you can do that. All right. So now, sometimes, well, first of all, it doesn't work with every single credit card. Some credit cards, some debit cards are going to want, the entire address verification. And I say with Google nowadays, it works about 50% of the time. So, so that's, one way to do it. Other than that, then you actually need to have a different address. I mean, I have a big family, and so man, nobody in my family could get a Google account, like no, or Facebook now. Like my grandmother, I hope she never wants to advertise online, because she's banned everywhere. Parents aren't. I mean, if you think about it, because most of these people are never going to use a Google AdWords account, and even their Facebook ad account. So I did that for a while. Like I even like opened up accounts for various friends and family members, just so they could, and just give me the debit card so I could use their address and stuff. So, where there's a will, there's a way. So, that's something that you can do as well. And you can also do, like, they have these like virtual offices. Like I actually have a couple of these for different reasons or whatever. But they have like, what's the name of that thing? What was the name of it? Earth something. I can't think of it. But there's tons of like different offices where you can get mail. Then they'll actually like ship you the mail, and they'll it could be your business address or whatever. So you can do those as well. So I would stay away from the UPS stores, but try the zip code trick, and relatives, friends, and lastly, different virtual offices.
Good. Awesome. So it says, do you find using VPSs work for setting up new accounts? Absolutely. Absolutely. VPS is probably going to be one of the best ways to actually get a clean IP address, new OS, the whole shebang. So,
Yep.
yeah, I definitely recommend VPSs.
Yeah, me too.
It says, since Google's easier to deal with, what kind of offers are they accepting? And, are you targeting mostly CPA type of offers?
I mean, me personally, yeah, I am. I mean, but I'm pretty much cloaking. I mean, I'm doing, the typical CPA stuff that, I do other places. But yeah, I mean, you can do whatever. I mean, that's just what I'm doing, and I'm cloaking. But, I mean, you can do whatever. And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything cloaked at black hat. I mean, like the stuff Sam does is all white hat. It's all, yeah, I mean, the thing about Google is that you have to have a site no matter what you do. You have to build out a site. So, you can definitely have a white hat site. I have white hat sites, but it's just, because that's just kind of like a front for what I'm cloaking for. But, I mean, here's the thing with Google, like, they don't necessarily hate affiliates, but they really want to cater to the advertisers, okay, the merchants, the people that actually own the business. So even like, for example, like, say like diet stuff, okay, so like, all these, guys doing, Garcinia and all these, affiliates and, diet stuff and whatever, and they don't necessarily like that. But if you are the actual Garcinia advertiser, and you have a legit page, especially if you got a phone number on there, you got a real business, this and that, and other thing that I found, there's not 100%, but one thing that they definitely like is if you are doing some type of e-commerce, that the landing page, so the landing page would be like http abc.com, then they want your secure landing page, or the secure page where you do the e-commerce, to be https abc.com. So that way they kind of know if there's no domain jumping, they know that, like, okay, this is like the real advertiser or whatever. And so And that stuff, I mean, it takes a little bit of effort, but it's really not that hard, you know. I mean, so I don't know if you found that to be true, Sam, or whatever. I mean, Sam is more definitely on the white hat side.
Yeah, and some people ask some questions about the type of offer. So I run an agency, so mostly everything I run is client based. So it's not like I'm actually running a ton of affiliate offers. I basically have clients who actually own their businesses, whether they're info marketers or service providers, and they basically pay us a fee. So basically, my business model is more based on helping clients who can spend a maximum amount of dollars, and I basically take a percentage of their advertising spend, and that's my business model. So it's a little different from the CPA style stuff, but everything that we shared with you is applicable across the board, regardless if you're running CPA offers, if you're running to your own info products or services. I mean, the same techniques and strategies apply across multiple verticals. You're just going to have different tweaks and changes and angles based on the offer or vertical that you're promoting in. Let's see. Matt Dye said, any white hat offers you recommend? I don't have any particular white hat offers. Do you have any white hat offers or type of white hat offers that work best on Google? Greg?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, not really sure about that. How long do black hat accounts generally last before being found out compared to Facebook's, which usually lasts a couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, if you do it the right way, I've had them last pretty much a month, sometimes even 2 months. So, and that's pretty much hitting it hard. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely longer than Facebook. I mean, yeah, significantly longer than Facebook accounts last.
Awesome. Let's see. Are there any main things you would recommend that needs to be done for a clean Google compliant website? Uh, yeah, I mean, so, you know, I would go basically I would do research in your vertical. So like before you launch a campaign, like do research and look at sites that are running in the search network, that are maybe like from some of the big boxes or maybe some other affiliates. I would also look at some competitive research tools to see what people are actively running ads, and then take a look at the sites and evaluate them. I mean, the main thing is that they want to see content. They want to understand that it's a clear business model. They want to see, of course, site policies, terms, contact information, and if you actually have products that you're selling, actually have like a products page on there. So those are like some of the main things that you want to make sure that you have on there to be compliant. But definitely, before launching out stuff, I always do competitive analysis and really get some insight as to what the people who are the 800-pound gorillas in that particular vertical or marketplace are already doing. I mean, there's no need to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
Awesome. Can you give me the refer cloaking script? What was the URL again, Greg, for the cloaking?
Superaffiliatecloaker.com.
All right, superaffiliatecloaker.com. All right, folks. Any more questions, concerns? Is it normal to go into a review? Generally, when you first launch a campaign, I mean, if you launch a small test campaign, they generally automatically approve your ads. It's generally when if you're uploading a bulk and you're trying to spend a bunch of money, like Greg mentioned earlier, and your account is not even aged, that's when you'll probably run into a lot of the issues. But for the most part, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about your account being reviewed or audited right out of the gate.
Yeah, as long as you take it slow, then yeah, I mean, I think they all go through a review at some point. Like normally, like I said, I'll make that first like clean campaign and then just wait. Then sometimes, normally they approve that right away. But then a lot of times that second one, that you put in, you start spending a little more money, then they'll review. So, if you're cloaking, just keep the good page up, and then once after that review, then they're pretty good. Here's the thing that you got to. Here's one little tip though. So say for example, like if you're just running a clean page, obviously you don't want to waste a lot of money. So say you might have that set like $5 a day, $10 a day. So then once everything is running and everything, then you want to have your real campaign up. You might start at $5-10, but then if you jump to like say $100 a day, like it'll have the little thing. So like this budget is a lot higher than the other one. Like you have to like double make sure like that if that happens, like you're jumping too fast. So like cancel that. So then maybe jump to like $50. Then like if that thing doesn't come up, then you're kind of cool. Like if the thing comes up saying that this budget is a lot higher than the previous one, then I back down and don't do it. Or go up to a little slower, because if you do that and make those really big jumps, that's definitely going to trigger a review.
Yeah, definitely a good point. Would you recommend taking keywords that convert and moving it to search PPC on Google, or do you just focus on display traffic? A lot of times, traditionally most people would actually start with search and then move to display once they tested what works on search. But what you have to understand though is that search campaigns are a totally different animal than Google display campaigns, and you're gonna again, unless you're cloaking, the quality score really comes into play, and there's a lot of different factors that are going to make your search campaigns different. So just because it works on display doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work on search, and vice versa. At the end of the day, you have to test. What have you found, Greg?
No, I agree. It's two totally different animals. I mean, the thing about search is that people are actively searching for something. So for quality score reasons, you're going to want to include the search term probably in your ad. Whereas on a display network, I mean, your ads just showing up on a website. Like they're not looking for your shit at all. Like they're just looking at something else, and then your ad kind of jumps out of it. So right away, there's like a big difference in the ads. Now, I used to. It does make more sense to go from display to search, because if you start with search, I mean, like you're going to be getting taxed. I mean, the CPC is going to be way higher. So that's one thing. But so like through all of the testing and stuff though, on display, then your landing page is going to be pretty tight. I mean, if your landing page is working pretty well on display, then it's going to be pretty tight. So then it's just a matter of, and you're probably going to have a decent text ad. So it's just a matter of maybe, modifying that text ad or kind of massaging the text ad to work on search. So I would say, and it's still not automatic because it's just two totally different animals, but I would definitely try to move from display to search then as opposed to the other way around.
Cool. How aggressive can image ads be on a display network?
They can be real aggressive. I mean, they'll reject it if it's too aggressive. I mean, they definitely review those manually. I mean, definitely. I mean, so but I found that you can pretty much, you can get away with a lot. I haven't really had too many that have been rejected. I mean, I think they let a lot of stuff go.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've seen some very interesting banner ads on GDN. How about the ad copy for text ads? Can you use working ads on search and display and vice versa? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if it works on I think like Greg said, if it works on display, which is you're generally going to get much lower CTRs, then it's a very high probability to work on search as well.
Yep.
Is the landing page rotation allowed when tracking with CPV labs? Yes, you can rotate your landing pages with CPV labs all day. You can split test. You can split test landing page and offers.
Oh yeah.
If I put mobile at -100% and just targeted that URL that Sam told us to block, will I be running exclusively on tablet apps? No, you will be running on desktop and tablet and no apps. So your ads won't show in any apps. That -100 basically blocks out all the mobile devices, so it won't actually show up on phones, but it'll still show up on tablets, excluding apps, if that makes sense.
Now, I will say that I have actually had some apps where it's run properly, but for the most part, you're definitely right. I mean, you probably want to avoid it. But once you have something that's going well, if it works well on mobile, you might want to test, some of the apps. But generally speaking, especially at the beginning, definitely exclude that. But you can occasionally find somewhere it works.
Do you actually take the time to build a compliant site? For our stuff, the stuff that we do with our clients, absolutely. Everything we do is pretty much 100% compliant. If you're cloaking, I don't think you really need to worry about that compliance.
I mean, yeah, you still got to build out a site that they can look at and approve. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be all like great, but yeah, I mean, I have outsourcers and employees that they just crank out the sites.
Let's see. Would you start with text ads and move to display image, or vice versa?
That's a good question. I mean, text ads are good, especially if you do want to migrate over to the search network. But I've always got the most bang for the buck from the banners.
Yeah.
I really have. I mean, just my personal experience. And like I said too, once you have those winning banner, I mean, Ken McCarthy always said a good ad is a good ad is a good ad. So once you have that banner that works, then you can move around to off the Google Display Network and still make money with it. But having said that, I think that it's definitely good to have both. Because here's the thing. That's what I failed to mention about scaling. Because here's the thing. Like, the reason why I put different ads in one ad group is because, like, you gotta realize, like, you gotta look at the different space. So you have a 300 by 250. So you have that. Okay. So then I might have a couple of those, and I'll have a winner from that size. Basically, you have each different size. Each different size you add is going to give you more traffic, because if it's a 728 by 90, then the 300 by 250 can't you can't really run there. So that's like extra traffic, and the text ad gives you even more a different way of getting traffic. So the more different types of ads you have, the more traffic you're going to have. Problem is, like, they behave totally differently. Like, you might have a 300 by 250, you might take the exact same picture, exact same text, and put it in a 160 by 600, and it just totally bomb. I mean, so you never know. Like, you have to test, and that's another part of the whole testing thing, because all these different ad sizes behave differently. So so honestly, like, again, it depends on your budget. I mean, like, if you're at a limited budget, then I would focus on like one type of ad, whether it's a 300 by 250, whether it's a text ad, whether it's 160 by 600 or whatever. If you got more money, then throw them all in there, and you can eliminate the ones that don't work. But it depends on what your future plans are. I mean, if you plan to scale on the search network, then you definitely want to work on text ads. If you just want to keep expanding on display, then focus on banners.
Awesome. Is it possible to rip a compliant site somewhere else rather than building one from scratch when cloaking?
No. Google has a hellified duplicate filter, duplicate content filter. So now, if they see that content anywhere else, they'll be like, nope, shorty, you got to start over. Nope, this is a copy. So no, you have to. That's the thing. You have to have original content. But I mean, man, you can go on fucking Fiverr, get articles written. I mean, like, it's not that hard to get original content. But yeah, but they definitely, you can't do that.
Do you use Rockstar Power Suite for your campaigns? Yes, and yes. And that's the one that I think they made an update and it broke something in it. So I'm not sure it's functioning, but I think they're working on it right now, right, Greg?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I use it. I love it. I talked to John, and yeah, he's working on getting it back rolling for GDN. I mean, it still works with GDN, but there was some. I think the last time Average Editor changed, it did something and made it not work automatically anymore. So, but yeah, you'll be hearing more about that. Yeah, John's working on that.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions, folks? Speak your piece. All right, man.
So you guys think? You good? You get any value? Is anybody going to actually implement? All right. Well, hey, since we spent all this time giving you all this value, do I have your permission to give you something else? Do I have your permission to let you know how you can get into this a little deeper? All right. You guys are so nice. All right, here's the deal. Here is the deal.
Gianno can sell me, bitch.
I mean, I asked for your permission because I know this is all content. So that's why I want to make sure I ask you your permission.
That is hilarious.
All right, so check it out. All right, so check this out. Because I realized, look, we had to kind of like speed through this stuff, in an hour or 2 hours and, 2.5 hours here. But as you can see, there's a whole lot to it. Okay, there's a whole lot to it. And so what Sam and myself are doing, we are hosting the Google Media Buying Bootcamp. Okay, this is a whole weekend, and it's not just us standing in front of a room expounding our wisdom. This is actually getting down to work on your campaigns. Okay, we're going to work on your campaigns, like your specific stuff, to help you, ramp up and get rolling on a Google Display Network. All right, and we actually might throw in some Google Search there, as well. But again, both Sam and I are extremely good at this. Sam has been doing it for years. He's managing a lot of different, campaigns for people. I mean, me, I've 100K a day plus, on Google. Definitely, as you could kind of tell from my thing, like I'm more kind of like more the brute force, like bam, 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 and Sam's definitely has more finesse, more of the details, and then just so we kind of make a really good team. So we're gonna be together, lovely Tampa, Florida, Friday, May 29th through Sunday, May 31st. This media buying boot camp. We're gonna get down and dirty and just really, get you guys where you need to be. All right. This is like exclusive, not cheap. This is $20,000. All right. And we're only accepting 20 people. All right, 20 people max. We want this to be kind of small and really exclusive, and where we can have a chance to get hands-on and help people out. And not just us. My team's going to be there. We'll have web designers. We'll have everything on deck. We'll have people making Google compliant sites. Right there on site. Okay, so we'll get everything done. Again, price $19.97. Now I always say money loves speed, right? So for the first 10, you can actually knock $5,000 off of that and get there for $14.97. And so the way you take action on this, you go to superphil@rockstar.com/deposit. You can make a $1,000 deposit. All right, you make a $1,000 deposit, and then you're gonna give my assistant 2 different times where we could actually get in touch with you. Either Sam or myself will just do a kind of quick interview, and then based on that, see if it's a good fit. Again, we're not just giving it to everybody that throws 15K at us or 20K at us, because the only way it's really going to be a success is that if we have the right mix of people, okay? Because we want to learn too, we want to get something out of it as well, So so that's what's going on. I mean, we're going to get a lot deeper into this stuff. Look, people are making millions and millions of dollars, on GDN, and we want you to be one of them. So this is a special opportunity. There you go, superphil@rockstar.com/deposit. Make $1,000 deposit, then we'll get at you, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Man, I'm super excited, looking forward to it, and we're gonna have another special guest there too for everybody.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because you look at the top 3 websites in the world: is Google, Facebook, and YouTube, right? And YouTube is obviously owned by Google. So we're actually gonna have a special guest, Mr. Tommy Powers. He's like the YouTube ad expert, like guru. I don't even say guru, but just he's the man when it comes to YouTube. And so we're gonna have a special guest. He's gonna be talking about YouTube. So you're gonna have like the whole Google universe covered, all right? Everything. And this is like, this is like the whole internet, all right? I love Facebook to death, but they got like 1.4 million members. Probably about half of those are fake. So but this is like you could reach literally 90% of the people on the internet. So and the YouTube stuff is really exciting. I'm just getting into it myself, man, it's good stuff. So this is like good stuff, man. Once a lifetime opportunity, learn from 3 of the best. And besides that, we're gonna have some fun. Tampa, we're gonna hang out a little bit. We're gonna have some fun as well. So that's that.
All right, folks. Looking forward to it. And man, Greg, thanks again, man, for having me on, man. I'm glad we were able to share and break all this stuff down for everybody.
No problem. Oh yeah, I'll give you the email. I forgot to make up a real one, so If for whatever reason you're not satisfied with the content here and you don't think it's worth $97, send an email to Kim at superphil@rockstar.com and put in all caps for the subject. All caps, Greg sucks. All right, all caps, Greg sucks, and send it to Kim at superphil@rockstar.com. So that way she'll automatically know that to take you to not charge you the $97. All right. All right, guys. Hey, it's been fun. Man, thank you, Sam, for being on. I learned a lot. I'm telling you, I'm going to be looking at this replay next to my campaign itself because there's a couple things that I'm missing out on here. So man, thank you. Look forward to hanging out with you in May. And
yeah, my pleasure, man. And I'm excited. And folks, for those first 10, I'm super excited. Looking forward to seeing you guys down here too. We're gonna have a great time.
All right, you guys. Hey, pleasure. Replay as soon as it's rendered and everything, I'll send out to everybody. Thanks a lot. You guys have a good day.
Bye, everybody.